Michael Clifford dropped his new album, SideQuest. I have a lot to say about this record that can be summarized in less than the amount of words that I want to use. So, I was hopeful because all the other boys from 5 Seconds of Summer, yes, I'm sorry to all the fans who want me to just look at Michael as his own. He's part of 5 Seconds of Summer. I did this shit with One Direction. I'm gonna do it with 5 Seconds of Summer. Luke made fucking indie pop. Fucking all of Callum made indie pop. Ashton made indie pop, but it was more poppier. It was like a lot more dancey. It was weird.
Still not
I'm gonna say
great.
it. It was fucking weird.
Still
So
not great.
all of the guys went towards indie pop. And that made me go, oh no, Michael, don't do that. He signed with Hopeless, and I was very hopeful because I was like, oh shit, he is the one who's kind of always been more like rock and roll. I mean, they were all in a pop punk band. 5 Seconds of Summer was pop punk for like the first half of the band. And then they came back to it and did more rock, but pop rock with calm. And then they went to fucking indie pop.
Yeah.
So I was
It's
very
clear
excited.
what three members made that decision.
Exactly. It was clear he was outvoted this time around. So going into this record, I mean, with the singles alone, the first single with Water Parks, Give Me a Break, I was already disappointed because it was not at all. Firstly, it's fucking Water Parks. I love Water Parks, as you could clearly see behind me. I enjoy the band, a normal amount, right? Haven't seen them live once, but I enjoy them. I love them. I've seen fucking 5 Seconds of Summer more than I've seen Water Parks. Can you imagine? Anyways, so I go into this record and all hope is lost because all the singles that he's dropped, I've not been the biggest fan of. The one with Porter Robinson, I thought was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a step up.
And it was all front loaded with the singles, by the way. Kill Me,
Oh.
For Always, Cool, Give Me a Break.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting there. So listening through this record, it's as you said, it was all the singles in the front. So already my expectations are on the floor because it's just like, yeah, I remember I didn't like these. I remember Michael, you could have spaced it out a little bit, so maybe it would have given it a different chance, but because my brain is already in the you did not like these singles, this record's gonna fucking suck because that's half the record. It didn't get better. It didn't. The singles were the highlight of the record, which is such a disappointment. Except the closer, Eclipse. I thought Eclipse was pretty. I'll give it to him. But the record is like not pop punk at all. For being on a pop punk label, this shit is like it's like he took all the slow tracks from every pop punk record and made it into an album. You know? It was like there was no like it just felt like all slow songs. It just felt like all of the slow songs that would be in like smack dab in the middle of a record on like the craziest pop punk record ever. But the song that like everyone skips. Sorry, I said it. It's the song off every pop punk record that everyone skips because everyone's like, damn, this kind of kills the vibe a bit. This record's a vibe killer. And it killed my vibe. And this was the last album on the playlist, and I was lost and alone once this finished. I was like, fuck, I don't have anything to bring this back up. Um, Michael was one of my favorites. It was Callum or Michael for favorites in the band. Ashton, never Luke girl. I thought it was cool though, but it was like those three. I kind of like jumped back and forth. One by one, they all fell. They all disappointed me. Soul of Music, Michael, I thought you were gonna hold it out. I thought you were my boy. You're not. This sucked. I'm sorry. Shout out Water Parks though.
Well, I had decently high expectations going into this record. I wasn't a massive fan of the singles, but I thought that the overall marketing and image for the record was what I expected when Michael Clifford said that he was going to do a solo record. When this started rolling out, the marketing and everything is what I expected. A little bit like that pop punk angst kind of thing, because he's always had that. Even when the band cleaned themselves up and did the indie pop thing, he always was the dirty looking
So
one
the
of the
grungy-
group. Yeah, the dirty grungy
He always
looking
looked
one
like
of the
he'd missed
group.
a couple showers, and we loved him for
and
it.
maybe he did, but like dirty and grimy and but not in like a visual way, just the way he dressed and things like that, not as clean cut as the rest of the band.
Yeah. Jesus, dirty, a little smelly,
Oh, I
we
didn't
loved
get that.
it.
I didn't get that close, but so like the marketing and all of that and the imagery around the record had me thinking that this was going to lean the right way. And did it go that way? No, but it's also the closest that that any of these band members have gotten to what I kind of expected a side project from any of the band members of 5 Seconds to Summer to create, because this is the most alt leaning thing that we've gotten from the 4 members that started out in a pop punk band, went back to doing pop punk and rock, and then decided to make one indie pop record, and
that's
then
their goodbye
and
record.
then dissipate.
Like, oh, we're gonna leave you with this.
We're gonna leave you with this stinker, and then we're all 3 of us, we're gonna do that separately.
Everything that everyone hated,
yeah,
we're all gonna do that separately. Yeah, because you guys want more.
Each at least once. So thanks for that.
Luke did it twice. He has 2 albums out of stinkers. Jesus, dude.
The Water Park song is growing on me slowly, although it's not the song I go out of my way to listen to.
It's not the song of the summer.
It's not the song of the summer at all. Cool and Kill Me for Always have are if I had to pick favorites out of the singles, which it's like picking my favorite turd out of the punch bowl. Those
that are shaped kind of cool.
Yeah, those were the better ones. But the Water Park song really, kind of fell flat for me. I think there's a lot more potential with that collab, especially considering
fucking Water Park.
Yeah, how sought after 5 Seconds Summer and Water Park's doing something together has been, and obviously it's not the full band, it's just Michael, but a collab like this has been so sought after and so highly requested that I think that there was a lot more there, although they did a lot of marketing together around it, which obviously feeds the fans. It's the collab that everybody wanted, so you got that in that scope of things, but the song itself falls a little flat for me. I kind of like Enough and Fashion. Those songs I think are somewhat solid. I think that the vibe that they have fits the like what the song is talking about, the tone of those songs, everything kind of makes sense. I like Eclipse, the way it closes, and If I Had a Choice featuring Ryan Hall is decent as well. But there's really nothing on this record that stands out to me, and it's like, wow, this absolutely rocks. This rocks my world. Like I said, it's not what I was expecting from Michael. I was expecting a pop punk record because he was always the one that kind of embodied that within the band, even when the band was going a different direction. So he's always looked the part, even when the band was going the complete opposite direction.
He never changed. It's like all of them had their little pop punk era look with all the little hairs. He still has the flat hair. He's still here.
He was still doing it. But it's the most alt leaning of the ones we've gotten, so I'll give him that. Like I said, there are some songs out on the record that aren't terrible, but really this album in its entirety is not something I'm looking to come back to because it didn't hit the mark of what I was ultimately looking for. And really, even like remove my bias from it, these songs didn't leave an impact on me. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm saying it's not something I'm going to come back to, because what he's going for is something I would listen to if it was executed properly. It wasn't executed properly.
It's like a poor impersonation of pop punk. But again, it's like he took inspiration from all the poopy tracks of pop punk. I'm sorry, I cut you off. It's just you keep talking, and I'm like, no, exactly.
No, but basically, just what I was saying is just if what he was going for, even if it's not pop punk, was executed properly, and the songs were across the board very solid, then I would still have been like, okay, this isn't what I wanted, but this album is really good. This isn't what I wanted, and this album also isn't really good. So that's where I'm at. Missed opportunity yet again. And it sucks to say that, because I said, when I opened this up, I was excited and optimistic for what this could have been. The singles were kind of a wild card, a little bit all over the place. Each song kind of did a slightly different thing, but what those songs showcased, the record didn't do.
No.
The other songs on the record further down past the 3 singles that were all front loaded on this goddamn thing, did a completely different, separate thing, where it almost would have been okay if the first three songs were kind of the taster palette for the gambit that this album was going to cover. But yeah, overall, this isn't great. Eclipse is probably the best song on the record. Shout out to Closer.
Shout out to Closer. He did good. He did something on that one. But that's because a Closer is supposed to be slow.
He tied the album together very nicely.
Exactly. Like, it's like the entire record was Closers, you know? It's I was ready for it to be over. Maybe that's just what it was.
Yeah, well, it's a bummer, but you know, it is what it is. And if you're coming here from the Callum Hood review, where we said we were very excited and we think that Michael Clifford's going to knock it out of the park, you can tell us in the comments that we were wrong. It's okay.
Or you could tell us, like, wrong. Yeah, we're disappointed too, because I'm pretty sure there were a couple of people into that Callum video that were like, yeah, this was not what I wanted either. Yeah. So be disappointed with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's all complain. Yeah.